Hey guys, how's it going? We're gonna have a very mellow day in the garden. I don't have many plants left to put into the garden. I had a big old hoard of plants. I've got a couple things left, and then I did just pick up some Scabiosa. So the plan today is to get the Scabiosa planted. I would like to get that in the garden, and then kind of just go through my pile of plants that I've got, get those planted, and then I've got a couple plants that desperately need to be cleaned up, and I would like to do those today. And I think I want to put them over by the greenhouse and have them, I want to start moving some things to the greenhouse. I need to build a table for inside the greenhouse, so that way I've got a workbench and all that. But I am going to wait because I am going to Michigan, and I want to see if I can find something really cool in Michigan. We'll see if I can find something. Also, we'll see how expensive it is to ship something back from Michigan. That's going to be the key feature on whether I bring things back. So hopefully it's not too expensive. But if you haven't seen, I'll be in Michigan for the Found Cottage Mercantile Market that they're doing. It's going to be so cool. I'm so excited about it. And they're offering shipping for anybody who lives far away. It's supposed to be a really, really big market. I think there's well over 100 vendors. I know that. I want to say it was like 220. It might have been 120. Either way, it's a lot of vintage vendors. They have food, drinks, and I think it'll be a really good time. So I'm excited about that. I go next month at the end of the month, and I honestly am just like counting down the days because it's going to be so much fun. And I'm already planning like other shops that I want to go check out some things. So let me show you guys the Scabiosa in case you hadn't seen those yet. So I have 5 of these Scabiosa. I'm going to put 3 of them in the landscape. And I think I'm going to dot them around as singles in the garden. I love Scabiosa, and this one is called Flutter Pink Rose, and it's so pretty. I have it in a blue color. Really easy to find it in the blue purple color. It's a little bit harder to find it in this pink color, and I had found some earlier in the year. I only bought 2 of them, and I had wished that I had bought in way more than 2. And well, I found them the other day, and I'm really excited about them. They get about 14 inches tall, and that's about how tall these are anyways. And then they do spread quite a bit, probably about 14 inches wide. Bees love them. It's a perennial Scabiosa, so there's annual and there's perennial. I love both varieties of them. This is hardy in zones 5 through 9, and I just think that these blooms are just the sweetest thing. The bees love them, the hummingbirds love them. There's not a pollinator that I don't see on these things. The perennial Scabiosa has these little teeny tiny seed heads. The annual Scabiosa has really great big seed heads, and the blooms will be also bigger. And the blooms in the perennial one are really great for the landscape, but the annual one gets really tall. Like it can get like 5.5 feet tall, and the blooms are really long. So the stems on them, like see these ones, like this is still a really long stem. Not great for like big floral arrangements, but still could use it in flower arrangements. They're really pretty. But the other one, the annual one, is really great in floral arrangements because of how long the stems are and how big the blooms are. So I love to grow both. I did not grow the annual one this year. I just grew the perennial one. And I'm going to get questions about that. We will put a link to it. It's like the Campania M Series Fountain or something like that. I'll put a link to what it is in the description down below. Ignore how dirty this ledge is. This is where we tend to store lots of plants. I leave them on the ledge. And I know it's dirty, and no, I'm not cleaning it. I was walking these back here, and I just had a bee stop me, and I just had to stand here for a minute and let it do its thing on these. I mean, it's so pretty as a flat of Scabiosa, but it was really funny. Pollinators really do love the Scabiosa. I was coming back here to show you the purple ones that I have in a drift. Well, it's more of a clump than it is a drift, and there's 3 of them in here. So this is 3 of the purple one. You can see here's the pink one. So a good little mix of color. I actually think it would be so stunning to do like maybe like a big drift of these, but like inner plant these. So like if I had gone in and I had just like tucked in some of these pink ones, and then you had like a variation of color. So like you had like the pinks in and the blues in. Oh gosh, that would be so stunning. That might be something that I do next year, because I am going to have to come in and probably divide these. Oh, I just put a hole in there. There we go. But this is 3 of them right here. So there's 1, 2, and a third one back there. And I do like to plant them pretty close together because they get quite big. The seed heads, they're underwhelming, which is nice. So they don't like do a whole lot in the garden. If I wanted to, I could save these and I could probably plant those. I don't want to. I don't think. We'll see this fall what I decide to do. But I do love them. I think they're very cottagey, very whimsical. But I just want to take 3 of these and I want to dot them in throughout the garden. Oh, there's a hummingbird that was just chasing that dove. Did you guys hear that? The hummingbirds are so aggressive. Anyways, I want to take these and I just kind of want to dot them in throughout the garden. So not anything crazy, just maybe taking one, shoving it in like right there at the border of this bed, and maybe putting one in over here, and then maybe shoving one in there. So that way I've got, actually I have a really big hole right there. So tucking in one right there might be really nice. Plus I don't have any pink in this bed until you get to right there. So I love pink in the garden. So I definitely need some of it. So we'll definitely do one of them right there. I think that'll be perfect. And then the other 2 I do want to save because I think that they would be really pretty here. So, I mean, they're probably not going to get planted for a minute because I do need to run irrigation and all that. But I can, at least I'll have them and I can keep them in their containers. But how pretty would it be to have one tucked in right at the ground at the border of this? I think that would be so sweet. Maybe we'll plant them. We'll get them planted. We're going to do that. And then I'm just going to have to hand water those. And I'll know that I have to hand water them. But I think that that'll add to a little bit of a cottagey effect in front of the greenhouse. And then I can find some type of shrub. I do want something that's probably evergreen for right there. I think that way there's a little bit of interest, but I do need it to be low growing. I might do ivy actually, because I did see somebody who did just ivy in a container. And I thought that that was so stunning. And I don't know why I thought it was so stunning. It was just ivy. Look at, this is my favorite thing in the world, is seeing the hummingbirds on the very top of this fountain. Did you see the hummingbird and the finch on there? Oh, that was so sweet. Anyways, I don't know why I'm so obsessed with ivy. I do know. It's very English. It's very cottagey. It's very sweet. And I didn't know it was a spider mite attractant. You guys started recently telling me that it was a huge spider mite attractant. And I deal with spider mites here. I got them in abundance. However many you need, I got it. Plenty to share. So we'll see how well that goes. I've talked about wanting to replace the espalier that we have with ivy, and I will do a test run of having ivy on the property. And I'll do it in these containers that I've got right here. So what I want to do is, I've got these like metal spheres and I want to create maybe like a willow sphere or something like that, and do like a ball sphere, and then I'll put an ivy plant in the middle and let it grow on that, and I'll see how quickly I get spider mites, or if it's going to be an issue at all with spider mites on those. If I get spider mites, then I'm probably not. I say probably because there's still a chance that I will, and I'll have to learn the lesson the hard way. But there's a good chance that I won't do ivy over on the espalier. I need something that grows slow. Ivy grows quick, but it doesn't grow as quick as the honeysuckle grows. Honeysuckle grows incredibly quick. And I also want something that's evergreen. The ivy is evergreen. The honeysuckle is not evergreen. So we'll see. I'm just rambling now. Anyways, we will get all 5 of these planted right now. We have 2 more to get planted. I'm loving having the Scabiosa in the garden so much, especially those 3 that I just planted. It'll be nice. I've been talking about not wanting to do singles in my garden, and more of what I meant by that was not wanting to do a single plant and not have it anywhere else in the garden. I'm all for singles if you can have them repeat throughout the garden, if that makes sense. And I think that's what a cottage garden does, which is kind of the vibe that I want. I do want big drifts of things, but I also want singles dotted here and there in the garden where they can just kind of stand alone and shine. I think that they will be really pretty. And then you'll see it again and again, and you'll see it in 4 different spots in my garden. So you'll see the greenhouse, 1 jelly bean bed, the other side of the jelly bean bed, and then over kind of by the aviary. I think that's gonna be pretty. I got these last 2 to get planted, and when I set them down, my heart kind of like, I don't know, beat a little extra. They look so pretty against the white limestone. Let me kind of show you guys. I just think that's gonna be so pretty, and they're such an airy plant. I think it's gonna be absolutely spectacular. Look at this one with the sun just barely hitting it. We'll see if these get enough sun. It's gonna get all afternoon sun, but it's not really gonna get too much morning sun. Currently it's 9:30, and that's how much sun it gets, is dappled sun, and then it gets no sun over on that one. So we'll see how they perform. I'm hoping that they perform really well, because I think that that's gonna be so pretty like that, especially kind of tucked behind the containers, and then the containers will shine, but these will just be really, really sweet, and they'll kind of spill over into the walkway a little bit. I mean, nobody's walking right up against the walkway right there. It's more for the doors to be able to open. So I think that that's gonna be so perfect. Let's get these last 2 planted now. Well, change of plans. I was gonna put the containers back so they were right in front of the Scabiosa, but I had moved them out of the way, and when I moved them to the edge of the greenhouse. I'm gonna pull this one out just a little bit. There we go. That's better. I had moved them to the edge of the greenhouse, and I was like, wait, I kind of like that. And then how pretty would it be to have like a hydrangea standard or something like that inside there? Then I could actually have something kind of tall, maybe, I don't know, tall-ish, tall adjacent, rather than worrying about low. And then I can plant just really low things, and I can still really enjoyed the stonework because I really, really, really love the stonework. I still want flowers in this bed, like maybe like petunia. Well, petunias probably wouldn't even do well there, but maybe the like really cheap annual begonias from like Home Depot or Lowe's, ones that don't get absolutely massive, doing a whole bunch of those in front of the greenhouse on both sides. Then I can still really enjoy the stonework. I think those would be really pretty. Some kind of annual that stays small. I'm not going to really worry about too many annuals in this bed right now. Actually, not going to worry about it at all right now. But I love the perennial Scabiosa because that'll be a nice little evergreen clump. All the blooms will die back, and then those will just be little evergreen mounds right there this winter time. And then I can do something tall in there, low begonias, low flowers, something very small, very nice. Still enjoy the stonework, really get to enjoy the view into the greenhouse. I don't know, I just think like some type of tall flowering something, or even like a black-eyed Susan would be really pretty. And I could do some type of trellis right here and then have it so it kind of grows onto the greenhouse a little bit. Black-eyed Susan would be really pretty because it won't do any damage. I love that. I think what I'm gonna do today is I've got this plant right here. We're gonna take that out. I have been infested with spider mites back here on my foxgloves. I actually need to spray those. So I'm gonna, off camera, I'm gonna spray. I'm gonna use Malathion. That's what we're using. We had been using an organic route and then we tried the water route, didn't work. Now we're going Malathion. It's been working really great. I've been forgetting to spray the foxgloves. So we've actually lost a few of them. Some of them are starting to push a little bit more growth, but for the most part, they're gone. I do want to leave them, hope that they do recover maybe this fall time. We'll see what happens. I'm going to spray, but I am going to take out this. This is an evergreen shrub. This will always have the speckling that it has and the burn that it has from the spider mites. So we're just going to take it out and call it a day. But you can see, like, see my foxgloves? They're starting to push new growth. So I think if I spray and get on it, then they'll recover and I should get some more foxglove blooms. I think they're just trying to fight for their life right now and stay alive. You can see like some of these have not made it. So they obviously need some help. And these grasses right here are a case of right plant, wrong place. I love these grasses. These are like a totem pole grass, but they don't get enough sun. So I will be moving those. I still want to keep them in the garden. They just need to be somewhere where they get even more sun. When I planted them, it was winter time and it was full sun. I didn't even think about the willow tree filling in and causing too much shade. So those will be coming out. Not today. I'm going to take them out this winter time and do a transplant this winter time. It's not really best to transplant anything. So let's go ahead and take care of that. And then we can see where else the day leads us. Just noticed back here, look, we have naked ladies back here. How exciting. So these are amaryllis. They're so pretty when they bloom. So they come up in the springtime and it's all their foliar growth. It's actually, they come usually more in the wintertime than they do the springtime. And it's all their foliar growth. And then the summertime, all their foliar growth dies back to the ground. And then in the summer, look at this. They shoot up beautiful bloom stalks. These actually came from one of my neighbors, I think 3 years ago at this point, maybe 4 years ago at this point. They were one of the first things that we planted. They were actually the first thing we planted underneath the willow tree, and they're doing so good. So in the wintertime, it's just their foliar growth, and then it takes in all the nutrients all winter long and all spring, and then that foliar growth dies back, and it has enough energy to be able to send up all of its blooms. So we can grow these in the shade during the summer, because during the spring and winter months, this is all a sun area, and it doesn't matter because it's like not even harsh sun. They can come up in the summer in a shaded area. Also, look at these, my African violets. Look at, they're blooming. They're so pretty. And I know a lot of people are worried because they grow like crazy and they spread, and I have them contained in this tree ring right here, so they shouldn't be able to spread too much. Anytime that I see them start to like grow over this metal edging, I'll probably keep them off of this. But I did want this entire area in here to be full of them, and it's doing a really great job at filling this in. I would love for that to just be a green area. I do need to come in and trim some of this willow. It's kind of going a little crazy in here. Jeez Louise, I gotta cut that back. I think that's actually what I'll do next today. There's a little bit of a breeze, so I'll cut back the willow branches. You can't really walk right now without getting smacked in the face by a willow branch, and that's true for most of the garden. So that we need to take care of that. It's not great. So let me grab the loppers, and then we'll get to cleaning that up. Okay, I know that's probably gonna make a few people mad. I try to not give my willow trees like a bowl cut so it's like directly straight across. I try to leave some wispy pieces. I think that lends to it still not looking like it got too much of a haircut, but still has some like, I mean, you can still see there's some long pieces right there. So anyways, I gotta clean up all of this. She needed that haircut bad. You couldn't even see into the greenhouse, and you really couldn't sit under the bench. So I usually do this 2, sometimes 3 times a year. So that looks so much better. Much happier with that now. Now I gotta clean up all of my mess. I think I'm gonna wait a little bit because it's about noon now, and it's getting spicy out here. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna grab any really long ones that I want to keep, and I'm gonna strip the leaves off of them, and I will keep the long ones for if I wanna make any more topiary forms. That's what I need to do really quickly. Okay, I got my bushel of sticks, my small little bushel. I'm gonna go put these under the gazebo, and I think just kind of off camera tonight, I'll just go ahead and make myself a couple wreath forms with these. They've been so fabulous, and I would love to maybe have some more for wintertime for projects and things like that. So if you haven't seen that video, just a couple days ago, last week I think it was, I made a wreath form out of some willow branches. Go back last week and see if you can find it. It's got a picture of the new table and the topiary. And they're really, really easy to make. And when I'm cutting branches off, I'm just gonna start saving some of these. Now I gotta clean up my mess. I'm gonna do it off camera because I'm really gross. Yeah, it's not great. But the willow tree looks so much better now. Well, I am sitting here under the gazebo. It is blasting hot out. It's the middle of the day. It's about 4 o'clock right now, almost. And it's toasty out for sure. But while I was sitting here, I decided to make my wreath form that I wanted to make. I was sitting here doing this, and Brent cleaned up all of the willow branches for me. He's literally a angel, but I made my wreath for him. And so this one I actually want to turn into a real wreath this winter time. So I figured I'd make it now. And I had a branch that like came up and it was really long, and then it forked, or it didn't fork, it V'd. And so it had two really long branches that came from it. And so I took that one branch, started weaving it around my form right here. And then I made a little loop out of it right here. And so I just braided those two together and then just continued to braid it around the wreath form. So now I'll be able to hang this wreath form up. So it's got like a little built-in like hook right here. I think that's going to be so cool. This is the second time I've ever made a wreath form. When I first started making it, it was starting to get a little too like repetitive. Like the weave was like perfect on it, and I was like, ooh, I don't know if that's the vibe that I want for this. So what I started to do was like not follow the way that the branches were being weaved, and so I started like, you can see here, see how those ones were all like twisted perfectly, like laying on top of each other. I was like, I don't like that. So then I started weaving them a little bit tighter and to like lay on top of each other, and so they're all kind of like weaved together in this like kind of weird form. But I wanted it to look a little more cottagey of a form. I mean, you're probably not even really gonna be able to see much of the form after I like do whatever I do to turn it into some type of wreath, but I thought that was pretty cool for the second time I've ever made a wreath form out of willow branches. I thought that was pretty snazzy, and I have a little built-in hook on it, so that was perfect. And then Brent cleaned up all of the willow branches for me, so I don't have to do any of it. That's so nice. So that is where we're gonna end the video today. I think we're just gonna enjoy the rest of the evening, and we'll get other things done later. I wanted to take care of a few other things in the garden, but that'll happen a different day. It'll be fine. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for visiting our garden, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.